Now let's shift to demographics. Talked about energy and food. I'm going to tell you the United States is unique in its ability to stay young. And I'm not talking boomers and plastic surgery, although that helps. And eventually we all consider it. I'm going to give you examples of regions based on kind of the exemplar of that region and how old that country representing that region is. South Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa is 18 years old. Median age, 18. Saudi Arabia, Persian Gulf, Middle East, basically 22 years old. India, South Asia, about 24 years old. Brazil, South America, about 28 years old. United States and China, oddly enough, right now are almost exactly the same age, right around 36. Russia pushing 40, Europe north of 40, Japan 44. And look how old it acts now. 44. Even Brett Favre had to retire at that point. So we're talking about young countries, old countries. But because the United States allows immigration, this is the fascinating shift over time. We hardly age at all first half of the 21st century. China ages 3 years for every year we age. We get up to almost 40 mid-century, and the Chinese are like 48. 4 years older than Japan is now. So when you talk about China becoming this aggressive, scouring the world, sending all its young males off to get killed because they can't find women to get married, realize they're going to be older than Japan is now within our lifetimes. We've never seen a country age that rapidly. Meanwhile, the United States is a young country. Amazing. So the choice between a Jeb Bush and a Donald Trump, pretty important for the future of the country. Pretty damn important. But it gives you a sense of the anxiety caused by that reality. Now we talk about this millennial population, biggest one we've ever had, something like 93 million, bigger than the boomers. They are moving into positions of power. They're already into their mid-30s. Born into that networked world, globalization, natural to them, this notion that the whites are a majority minority in the United States in the future already exists for them, has existed for them for the last 15 years. That's already here, 0 to 10 in the United States, and in every major metropolitan area. That reality is already here and totally accepted by the millennials, who as a result think much more horizontally and see less threat in the world than their older generations. They strongly support international cooperation. They tend to see the Chinese more as partners. They are far less willing to support overseas use of military forces in a unilateral method. That's a huge change. I'm going to make an argument now on the demographic dividend and how it basically is the secret code for globalization's advance over time. So think about the production ladder. You start off with raw stuff that you're just gathering from the ground and sending abroad. Then you start processing that. Then you move into fabrics, simple assembly, low-end manufacturing. You start producing consumer goods. You move up to the real industrial stuff. Then you move on to intellectual property and design. The production ladder. What drives that process is the demographic dividend. It's all about kids versus laborers versus old people. How you get a demographic dividend is parents start becoming more confident that their kids are going to get to age 5. So they start having much fewer children. And the primary way you do that, Jenny McCarthy, vaccinations. Overwhelmingly, vaccinations. Another sign of the apocalypse is this idiocy in the United States on vaccinations, which we pioneered, gave to the world, and now are turning our backs on because it's a lifestyle choice. Jesus. I mean, when the Playboy Playmates start doing science, watch out. As you get more confident, you turn down the spigot, and that creates kind of this bulge in your labor. The only problem is that pig eventually moves through the python, and you start accumulating old people. That's the price of success. The joy is that chunk in the middle, which for most countries is about 20, 25, 30 years, depending on the size. This is what it looks like in the more traditional perspective. Decrease the death rate, parents catch on, there's your pig moving through the python. Another way they represent it, you can talk about dependence as a percentage of the working population. Here's China's great secret, its unbelievable rise. Look at youth versus elders. Go back to 1965. 80% of Chinese don't work. Is the problem old people? No, it's too many kids. What's the great miracle of China's rise? One-child policy. They double their percentage of working population. Problem is, eventually they get successful, too successful, and they start stockpiling old people. No matter how they turn the spigot back on, one-child policy, it's already done. People aren't interested in having more kids. That worm has turned. China will have more old people than America has people mid-century. So when the Chinese invade, we'll see them coming. Get that carrier off my lawn! An example of a country going through the process. South Korea got lots of kids. This is how history was for the world for like ever, until very recently. Then they turn off the spigot and you start to see the bulge appear. Then you see them in their heyday. The problem is eventually they turn into Japan. That's Japan, middle of the century. A complete reversal of human history. What happens to a society that's 58 years old? Mean age, 58. I'm 53. There are a lot of things I won't do. 58 seems like a lifetime. We have no idea what happens to that society. The Japanese think they're going to robot their way out of it. Because old people, more than anything else, don't want to be touched by other humans for the last 30 years of their lives. That's the way I want to go. Another way to look at it, countries at different points. Okay, obviously on the left, that's a country in the throes of demographic dividend. That's China finishing up. Here's India ready to kick in. And this is why I have 2 adopted daughters from Ethiopia in addition to 1 from China. They got babies out the yin-yang and are about, on that basis, 20, 30 years from a huge demographic dividend. Biggest the world's ever seen, sub-Saharan Africa. So here's the hidden history of globalization. It's not economic hit.